What's up everybody, my name is Jaden. I am currently converting this 40-foot school bus into my full-time home, and I've been converting it for about the last year or so, and I've done a lot to it, but of course there's always more to be done, and there's a lot more to be done. I have just completed wiring up some puck lights. These are temporary puck lights. I didn't realize that these were so small and not very bright, but I used lever nuts for them, which I went over in my last video, and they're going to be easy to just take out and replace when the bigger lights come, which actually I think they're coming tomorrow, so maybe I could have waited, but I'm kind of in flow state right now. Speaking of flow state, can we guess what we're gonna do next? Maybe, based on this right here, we're gonna be framing out the interior bathroom wall. And to be completely honest with all y'all, I don't really have a plan. If I mess up, then whatever, not a big deal. You can kind of see the rough shape here. The bathroom wall is going to be starting kind of right where this box for the wheel well ends. This is kind of going to be where the bathroom wall starts. It's going to come along the side of this box for the hallway, and then it's going to come along here and finish off, leaving a slight gap by this box for, I don't know, space if I need it. I don't really know. Like I said, I don't really have a plan. Now, I've seen school bus conversions of people doing interior walls, and they just like make it out of sheet material like plywood, and that's probably fine. But for me, I would like to, one, insulate my interior walls, at least soundproof them a little more, because it's the bathroom. You know what I mean? The other thing too is I want to run wiring for my lights in the bathroom through my wall, so as I walk through the entry, the light switch is right here on the left side. We'll figure it out, we always do. But for the time being, it is time to get my materials. I think I just need to grab like 15 2x4s or something, and some construction screws, and maybe some like lag bolts or something to secure the base plate down to the subfloor. But like I said, I don't really have a plan, so I'm kind of just going with the flow and seeing what happens, and we'll see how it turns out. I'm pretty stoked. Once I have this wall framed, oh man, it's gonna start coming together, man. Time to go to Home Depot. All right, I have returned, and I have materials. Basically, I'm gonna grab some 2x4s and make some base plates here, kind of outlining where my wall's going to be, using the boxes as kind of like an outline for where my walls are going to be. I'll have a 2x4 that spans this distance up until the edge of this box, and I'll join it with a 2x4 that runs the length of this box, and then I'll go right about here. I think there's going to be a little bit of a gap just to leave space for a nice sliding barn style door right there. So there's going to be a slight gap in there and a 2x4 plate going there. I think I'm going to use these lag screw bolts to secure it down into the subfloor. It might be kind of overkill rather than just using some like construction screws, but you know, I figure why not. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot some lag bolt screws down through the 2x4s to secure it to the subfloor. And then when that's all secure, I'll come through with 2x4 studs, and on this side, I'll go 16 on center, kind of like traditional framing for a house. But as I go along here, I'm just going to go up to where my framing is on the ceiling. So I'm going to hit a stud here, 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 and I'm going to hit a stud here, which is actually more studs than I would typically need if I was framing something like a house wall, because those distances are closer together than 16 inches. So should be better in theory. Basically, I'm just gonna screw in at an angle from the 2x4s to secure it to these top plates here for my framing. Since I'm not able to screw down into the 2x4 from the top here, I kind of have to do the pocket hole thing. Let's take a look here. Okay, chat, what do we think? Not that this really means much in a bus, but I mean, hey. Not too bad. Looks like it's gonna be pretty sturdy. Yeah, first stud in. Let's get the rest in. Okay, dude, this is so scuffed, but you know, I got these lag screws in there. I don't have an impact. I just have the regular drill, so it was not wanting to put them all the way down. So I came back and finished it off with a ratchet by hand. Very scuffed, but I do know for a fact this isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Like, dude, this is like, that is there until the end of time. And I don't actually know if I'm going to keep doing that for these plates. I mean, I think this is like extreme overkill for something like this. I don't really know. I don't think it can hurt, but I don't know. I'm kind of just doing it, but yeah, I just know that I think that it is pretty overkill. But I am going to go ahead and get these next 2 studs down, and we'll see how it looks. Second stud is up. Okay, gang, I got the 3rd stud up and in place, and I got my first little wall put into place. It's a little janky, but it's a school bus, relax. You know, it got a little weird down here at some points until I figured out that I should probably pre-drill my holes. So some of this looks a little bad. You might be like, Jaden, that looks terrible. Just relax, it's okay. It's plenty sturdy. And I'll put some horizontal blocking in here as one does, just to help it sturdy itself up a little bit more. This is gonna be cool. This is gonna be great, and it's gonna allow for a couple inches at least of pretty solid insulation. I'm gonna be able to insulate and sound dampen the inside of my bathroom, which is great, and good stuff all around. So before, it was absolutely perfect because I had planned to put my base plate there on the inside of this box. Well, I had to adjust it, and unfortunately, yeah. Well, I guess I'll have to add an extra section of framing there. It's kind of a bummer. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's like an 8-foot section. I'm gonna go grab a couple furring strips and put that in. That's a little better.
We going nowhere. You're going nowhere.
Here's what I'm finishing for the night. I'm starting to run a little low on battery, and it is really cold. You probably can't see my breath. I'm gonna go inside and feed the dog and have my Bailey time, and I'll come back to this in the morning. Alrighty, bathroom is framed. I still need to add some horizontal blocking to the studs, but I think it's looking pretty darn decent. It's not perfect, nothing is, but I think this is gonna make a really nice private area for the bathroom. Yeah, I think this is gonna be really good. Then I'm gonna be running some wiring through the wall so I can have a switch for the lights right here on this wall. Next step in the bathroom is gonna be to add some horizontal blocking. Alrighty, bathroom is all framed up. I got my blocking in on all the studs, and it's looking pretty darn good if I do say so myself. It's just a reference for you with comparing it to the size of me. I can walk straight through the doorway without twisting. I can just walk straight through. I got plenty of room. About here is where my shower is gonna be. I picked this spot mainly because it's the highest point and it's right underneath my max air fan. So when I'm showering, I can just turn on the max air fan and it'll suck out all the steam and whatnot. So I think that'll be really nice. I got my toilet right here on this little pedestal. And then I think what I'm gonna do is put a washer dryer combo right here next to the toilet on this pedestal. And then I can put upper cabinetry kind of all along this wall here. And if I'm feeling frisky, maybe even a window at some point, but I don't think so. It just pops into my brain right now. So it's always a possibility. But I'm really liking how this is looking and how it feels, the size of it, and how sturdy it is. I've seen plenty of Skoolie conversions, like I said earlier in this video, that kind of, I wouldn't say underbuild, but kind of. You know, some of them do this kind of framing, but others I see build rooms purely out of sheet material like plywood. And not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I'm sure it works great for them. But to me, it just didn't make sense to, one, not insulate something like the bathroom so it's a little bit more soundproof, and two, it just doesn't feel strong enough. You know, if I were to just build this whole wall out of sheet plywood, I don't know, I wouldn't feel too confident in the strength of the walls. The other thing too is, like I mentioned a couple times, is now I can run wiring through the walls. Don't entirely know whether I overbuilt this, underbuilt it, or built it just right. You know, I think it'll work for my purposes, but hey, who knows? This is my first time doing this kind of thing, and I'm just kind of winging it. So I do like how it turned out though. But for now, I think I'm going to take a little break, go eat some lunch, take Bailey to the park, and have some fun for the day. And when I come back, I'm gonna start running that wire for the bathroom lights. All right, I just got back from the gym, slammed some beef jerky and a nice cold Diet Dr. Pepper. Got my lights in the mail. Life is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire up the lights for my bathroom and down to where my switch is gonna be on the interior wall. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to that. Oh, that's gonna be so good. That's gonna be so good, you guys. All right, I'm gonna go grab my lights. All right, so here's the light that I'm using. This is the new puck light. It's about twice as big as the ones that I got previously and about twice as bright. So these should be good for having more light for actually seeing in my home. And then the rest of the lights that I already have installed that I'm replacing can just be used as ambient lighting. And what's nice about these is look at that. They come with a cute little baggie with some wire nuts. But who needs those when you got these? If you're curious how I'm wiring these up, I'm using lever nuts, and if you aren't familiar with what those are, how to wire things up with a lever nut, I have a previous video going over how to wire 12-volt puck lights using lever nuts, and so you can just go check that out if you're curious. Where is my knife? There it is. Oh. So I'm just gonna wire these up the exact same way that I wired up the other puck lights. Like I said, if you're curious on how I'm doing that, just go check out my previous video on wiring 12-volt puck lights. I'll put a link to that video in the description. It's almost time to test these puppies out and make sure. Amazingly, my camera overheated in 28-degree weather. Ain't that something? All right, and so yeah, I'll have them like, I don't know, can you see them both? I'll have them like spaced out, what is that, like 2 feet or so? That should provide plenty of light for the bathroom. I think we should test these out. I'm gonna use my trusty 9-volt battery to make sure we got power coming from this wire to both the lights. They kind of gradually turn on, and remember, this is a 9-volt battery, so theoretically speaking, these should be a little bit brighter. Good Lord, it's cold. I mean, it's dark. I can't hear you. It's too dark in here. Dang it. Oh. Dude, these aren't gonna cut it, man. These are not gonna cut it, I don't think. Oh, that's a bummer, dude. Man, yeah, these are definitely not gonna cut it. I need some brighter lights in here, bro. That's a bummer. Well, guys, it's a new day, and as you just saw, the lights weren't too bright. I did eventually end up putting 4 lights in the kitchen area of the same kind just to see what 4 would look like versus 2, and they were a little brighter, so I think honestly they might work. I just might have to put 4 in the bathroom and then put a lot more out here. But with that completes the framing in my bathroom, and I gotta say, I think it turned out really good. I don't know. Maybe we should get the foreman's opinion. Excuse me, foreman. So what do you think? Is the bathroom good? Would you do your business in there? Well, guys, that is the bathroom framing all done. It'll be really cool to see this all with insulation and finished walls on it. I think it's gonna be really, really nice when it's all said and done. I think having the bathroom framed up really paints a picture of what the rest of the bus is gonna look like, and it makes it a lot easier for me to visualize where everything's gonna go and how spacious and big everything's gonna be. That is it for this video, and I will catch you in the next one.